Visa overstayers, you have now become a target. Visa overstayers, apparently the DOJ has now said that visa overstayers will now become a target in terms of monitoring and vetting all the people who enter the country legally and they are now out of status. So as you know, there was some type of terrorist attack, some type of bombing in Colorado, and coincidentally, this was committed by an Egyptian man who overstayed his visa. So now the Department of Justice, through President Trump, said that we have to vet all visa stayers because it is now a national security risk. But if you didn't know this one important statistic in terms of immigration, right? Illegal immigration, the majority of illegal immigration is not through the border, right? That makes up for 40% of illegal immigration. It is people who actually came into the country legally and they are now illegal. But guess what? INA, the Immigration National Act, does provide options for visa overstayers. So you can, if you enter the country legally, you can regain your status in limited circumstances. So let's get into it. All right, so the first way, as you know, and it is the most common way to go back into status if you've lost your status, right? Meaning you came in the country legally, you were allotted a certain amount of time in which you can stay, but you overstayed it and you lost your either visitor status or employment status or student status. So here are the ways. If you get married to a United States citizen, not a legal permanent resident, if you get married to a United States citizen, right, you can adjust your status and regain legal status. That is number one. Number two, if you have a U.S. citizen child that is now 21 years or older, they can petition for you while you are in the country for you to get back legal status. I know people are going to say, well, there are anchor babies. No, there's no such thing as an anchor baby, right? Yeah, if you have a baby here and the parents are illegal, they have to wait 21 years. So what kind of anchoring is that? Right? So visa overstayers, marriage to a United States citizen, or if you have a U.S. citizen child that is 21 years or older. Number three, asylum, right? The thing about asylum is if you have entered the country and within 1 year you file that asylum application on the basis that you are fleeing persecution from your home country because you were either threatened or suffered some type of harm because you belong to a certain protected class of people. Certain protected class of people, either by your race, religion, national origin, political opinion, or belonging to a social group, you can file asylum within 1 year of being in the country. And if you're granted asylee status, after 1 year of being granted asylee status, you can get your green card and now get back into status. Right, so that's number three. That's the third way that you can gain back your status if you overstayed. Number four, right, it is the T visa. So the T visa is designated for people who are victims of sex trafficking, right? But what a lot of people don't know is if you are also the victim of labor trafficking, right? Meaning you are employed by someone, they're aware of your immigration status, meaning you're out of status, and they're using that against you to subject you to harmful conditions, paying you significantly lower than you're supposed to be getting paid. Or if you are working overtime and not getting paid, or working and not getting paid at all, or getting significantly late pay, that is something that we can do a T visa for, and a T visa can get you back your legal status, right? The other way is now the U visa. So the U visa is designated for people who they are victims of certain crimes, right? And they are now assisting law enforcement to prosecute that person. So say, for instance, you are the victim of a robbery, right? And you give statements, right? You are a witness to prosecute that person. You can get a U visa, right? The U visa, just like the T visa, you will first get a work permit. It has to be certified first to show that there is a case. Then after the certification process, then you will get the social, the work permit, and then you will wait a certain period of time based on the processing time for your green card. So these are the primary ways if you have overstayed your status, you can get back into status. I know people are going to say, well, what about VAWA? Of course there is VAWA, right? So say, for instance, you got married to a United States citizen, right? And they didn't petition for you. You can do a VAWA where it's an actual self-petition based on you being married to a United States citizen and you suffered some type of harm. There's also child VAWA and parent VAWA. If you are abused by a U.S. citizen parent or if you are abused by a U.S. citizen child, you can file for VAWA and that can bring you back into status. The thing about overstaying is that it limits you to those areas that I just discussed. An employer cannot petition for you while you are out of status. No, an employer or a business or investment type of visa, you cannot be a beneficiary of those type of visas if you are out of status, right? You can't. You have to go to the ones that I just discussed. So those are definitely options, and I hope that helps you in terms of making your decision how to get yourself back into status or how to advise a friend or family member.